Hey guys, so today I'm going to tell you how I paid off $30,000 in student loan debt in just 2 years. So just a little background on how I got debt to begin with. I wasn't supposed to have debt at all. I was very fortunate to go to a competitive school and get a lot of scholarships to go there. I also got a lot of government grants and I won a lot of competitive scholarships, which really helped when I was needing money. I also worked part-time while I was at school. Either I was modeling or doing photography or developing other students' film who didn't really want to do it and didn't have the time. But I want to say that I put most of my energy and most of my time into schoolwork. So if I ever had to choose between, keeping a job and going to school or having like regular job hours, I always picked school. And part of that is because I had a very heavy workload. For a long time I wanted to be the first ever triple major at my school. And then I became a dual major with a minor. So this is where we start to get into the idea of debt. My parents are divorced, and in the divorce agreement, they agreed to split the cost of college should I choose to go 50-50. Unfortunately, that's not how it went. My father is a deadbeat who, rather than save even a single dime for his only child over the course of 20 years, decided to retire early, buy a new car, remodel his house, and buy 30 guitars and go on vacation like 4 times a year. And what happened was he had led me on thinking that he was going to pay me. So I go all the way to my senior year, and I start my senior year, and it's finally time for him to pay up. Of course, he should have been paying the first 3 years, but my mother was very supportive in helping me and supporting me, and my father goes and says, "Nope, Michael, I'm not going to give you the money." And so here I am the first semester into my senior year, and I don't have this money, and all of a sudden I have to take on $30,000, which is what my thing costs, plus of course rent and food and living expenses and art supplies and all of that. So I tell myself, this is fine. I have 3 jobs that I don't really work consistent hours, but I'll just like double down on those and really kind of cut back on my spending. In fact, I made it a thing where I went to art school and I didn't spend any money my senior year of college on my senior thesis. And I like kind of worked that struggle into my practice, and you'll see that I do that a couple times as creative restraint. But then about a month later, in October of my senior year, I got really sick. Like, debilitatingly sick, and I broke both my arms at the same time. No one could figure out what was wrong with me. I had broken both my arms. I was like coming home and crying every night, and I just couldn't work. And all of that money that I had been saving over the course of my years at college was spent on hospital bills and on, I hired a nutritionist to try and help me figure out what's wrong with me. I couldn't work anymore. And so here we have a situation where like all of my savings are gone. I can't work anymore. Whatever I am working at, because I still did like a little bit of photography, was just going to just pay for my rent. Just trying not to take on any more debt than I absolutely had to. And I thought to myself, okay, like, I need to get through the situation right now. I'm so close to graduating. Let me deal with this now. I graduate in May, but then when I'm done, I'll be able to tackle this debt. Because I was trying to triple major in 3 totally unrelated fields, I had to take a lot of classes. And throughout my entire time in college, I was always taking like 6 classes every semester and summer classes. Well, because I got sick, I cut down to a reasonable 5 classes. And what that meant is that whenever the summer rolled around, I had to take 1 more class. So even though I technically graduated in May, I went and I had to take another class in July and into August. This becomes important when we talk about how the loans kind of calculate. I also want to say that I had been taking smaller, very reasonable loans throughout my time at school. So like my first year at college, I had been taking $2,000 a semester. And so, that was still kind of growing in the background, but a $2,000 loan is very reasonable. So I graduate and everything is going great. I feel like I'm really on the fast track to success. I have, immediately after I pack my bags and take a one-way ticket, I fly. I have a residency in Iceland, and then I go and I live in Paris a little while, and then I work my first art job as director of a residency in Romania, which is like crazy. Like, you don't get that kind of job as your first job, and everything is going awesome. Except what ends up happening is around the winter time, my mom, who is disabled, gets very, very sick, and it gets to the point to where she can no longer take care of herself. And so I make the personal decision to move back home to help her. So I get back home and I have this piece of mail that's been waiting for me. And I think to myself, oh wow, that's strange. I really haven't gotten any mail about my student loans at all. And I open it and it's insane. I have almost $5,000 overdue, which it was devastating to me. I just like sat on the floor and cried. And I hadn't had any prior notification, anything. Like I had like thousands of dollars, like over $1,000 in late fees, which I would have just paid it, you know, like. And what had happened was I technically graduated in May, and I thought, you know, they bill you 6 months afterwards, but I thought that I would be billed 6 months after, you know, in August when I finished my last class. But because I was no longer full-time, it didn't count. And then they also said that they were emailing me my notifications rather than mailing me my notifications about it. And of course they were sending it to my student account, but like, why would I check my email? It's been, you know, months since I've checked my email for my, like, you know, university. So I have this crazy amount, and I realized that this is gonna crush me. Like I had been kind of playing coy with it and ignoring it, and this is just so overwhelming. And literally, like, the day after I get home, my entire life savings, everything that I had saved since my first job in high school is gone. And I got to the point to where, like, I literally can't even, like, afford to buy, you know, myself a sandwich, or to buy gas for my car, or to, like, have a car. And so I decide at that moment, as I'm crying, that I vow to pay it off by the time I'm 25, which is just over, it's like 25 months from then. And this is the story of how I do that. So after I pay off the nearly $5,000, we're down to $29,000, which is, you know, I had more than that because I had the late fees and all of that, but really I pay off that, all my savings are gone, and then I have 29,000 something, and some change left over. And I have no money to my name. I move back in with my mom to take care of her and to fix up her house because she is unable to. And we start to think long term about the living situation, because if she can't take care of herself, it's not reasonable for me to spend my entire life there taking care of her, especially when she doesn't like where she's living anyway. So we prepare to sell the house, and I start fixing it up. In the meantime, I need to get a job. And my mom does not live in a very affluent area, and there really aren't any art jobs at all, not a single one. And there really aren't any jobs at all. And somehow, like some stroke of luck, I managed to land a job working in a factory where I'm training as a master binder, or apprenticing as a master binder, where I essentially make junk mail. And so I print, you know, the junk mail magazines that you get kind of every week in your news, in your mail, and I would make like 100,000 books a shift. And this work was really, really hard. I was working 12 hours a day from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. in the winter. Mandatory 7 days, so it was like 7 days on, 7 days off. But they have mandatory overtime because everyone was so overstaffed, or so understaffed, that I would work like 13 days, have 1 day off, and then, you know, another 10 days, and then 4 days off. And it got to the point to where I literally went months without seeing the sunlight at all. But on the plus side, I was making bank. I had made more money than I'd ever made before, and I was getting paid per 1,000 book that I made. And so I was walking home with paychecks of like around $3,000. You know, between $2,500 and $3,000, depending, you know, $3,000 before tax. And for what the environment that I was living in, that's a pretty decent amount. And meanwhile, I was like living super, super cheap. Like I was eating like liverwurst sandwiches for lunch, which is like the most, you know, non-millennial thing that you could ever say. It's my avocado toast. And so what ended up happening was I was taking literally every single dollar that I took from this and just dumping it into my student loans. And I was trying to pay off the ones that had an outrageously high percentage of interest first. So I had some that were like 7% interest and some that were like 3% interest. And so I tried to pay off the ones that were 7%. And I guess to clarify, I had 8 loans, one for each semester, but they were not all the same amount. Like the ones from the beginning were only like $2,000, but then the ones towards the end were, you know, like $8,000 at an 8% rate. I go and I do that for a long time, and I'm fixing up the house and I'm selling everything I own because I realize that I love traveling and I want to travel full time. And I do that for a good while, and it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. I would not recommend it to anyone. But the plus side is that, you know, we get that I helped my mom and I got her in the right situation and I got myself in the right situation, and it really gave time for me to evaluate and reflect upon myself in my career as an artist, as a person, to realize like who I am without any of these expectations of other people, because I'm not talking to other people, I don't have friends. Like who am I and what do I really want? And I realized, you know, like I want to be a career artist, which I always knew, but like I realized that I want to do that. I realized that, you know, I'm gender fluid, and all of the things that were happening with that, like I had so many people telling me that I was supposed to be this or that, or like so many ways that other people were living, and I didn't fit into any of them, and I thought for a long time something was wrong with me because of that. But in this space where I really had no pressure and no one to compare myself to, I was really able to identify myself. And I was kind of reading a lot of Marxist theory at the time. In fact, I was literally like working at the factory and then like reading Marx on my lunch breaks and just getting like so angry at the world. And of course, you know, Trump is kind of trying to rise to power at the time. And I live in the spot where like he visits the most. Like I'm from central Pennsylvania, which is like Trump's like #1 spot. And I'm not trying to make this controversial or whatever, but like he's awful and everyone tries. And like the majority of Trump supporters all live in my area, and you know, you have like the neo-Nazis rallying right outside where I live, and meanwhile I'm coming out as queer, and it's like giant. So anyway, I work at the factory for a while until eventually I just realized that I just can't anymore. I haven't seen the sunlight literally in like 3 months, and it's destroying me. And meanwhile, I'm still sick. It never kind of got resolved. It was just kind of an undiagnosed hypothyroidism that got really, really out of balance. And so I had gained 70 pounds, which is crazy because I was always like such a super athlete. I was an acrobat my whole life. And I was like so unhealthy and so unhappy. I quit. And then I ended up getting a job briefly at a meat factory. I was a meat processor where I would slice it. I was a slicer. I sliced the fat off the beef as it went off the assembly line. And then I ended up working at a grocery store, which also had mandatory overtime, and it was the worst job I'd ever had in my entire life. You're supposed to have 13 people run the store, and we had 5. And I really, really got shafted for all of it, and I'd come home and cry every night. And I share this because I want to talk about, you know, what I'm doing wasn't glamorous. It did work, but I also want to talk about all of those negative experiences really brought me to where I am now. So I was coming home and crying every night, and I actually developed nerve pain within my eye to where I couldn't see. And so all the visual art that I was making, I couldn't do anymore. Like I literally couldn't do the only thing in this world that I cared about. And so I decided to take what I learned from working as a bookbinder, and I started writing. And then I started, developing the idea of making some books. And then I started a publishing company, and all of this kind of developed out of my time here, where I had, the chance to reflect and to empathize and be compassionate with people in situations that are, not far worse than me, but to kind of empathize with the underdog a little bit, because that's how I felt about myself. And I'm sure, I definitely have a lot of privilege, and, everyone has more privilege than someone else in some way. I'm very gifted in a lot of ways. And so, I took what I was reading about Marx, and then I took about what I was learning with books and the distribution of that, and then I took about the fact that I was writing instead of making visual art, and this really kind of developed into the next chapter of my life, where I started my publishing company, which you can find in the description below. So if you want to, that's kind of the origin story of this. And the reality is that's just how I paid off my student loan debt. I eventually left the grocery store, and then I got a job as a photographer. It took me only like a few months to become one of the top photographers there, and I had a team under me. But I really wasn't making any good money. I was making $10 an hour, waking up 3:30 in the morning to drive 2.5 hours, photograph a bunch of people, and then drive home, and it was like not good. I also got really injured again. And so I was doing that. I was selling all of my possessions because I wanted to travel full time. And then when I helped my mom sell her house, I got a percentage of that because I did all of the work, and I kind of like gave up on my career for several years. And so like the last few $1,000s that I owed, I didn't owe much by then. Maybe only a couple thousand. Actually, no. I paid off my student loan debt before I did that, but that was kind of, I kind of include that money in there because it all happened around the same time. And that's really how I paid off my student loan debt. I just like lived at my mom's house, ate liverwurst sandwiches, and worked 80 hours a week for 2 years nonstop in a factory. And I was really determined to not let the situation define me, and so I made sure to do things that maybe weren't necessarily like expensive. Like I didn't get to do the travel or do the things that I really wanted to do, but I did. I wrote 3 books during the situation, and I couldn't make visual art, I couldn't make sculpture, I didn't have the space for it, but I could write. And so I let the situation that I was doing dictate what I was doing, but not dictate how I felt about myself. And then I just kind of continued to work for a little while, and I was able to buy a car, because my car had died because I had just run it into the ground driving all of that time as a photographer, right before my 26th birthday. And I paid a car, and I paid for that in cash. And so this is my story of how I paid off all of my student loan debt in 2 years, $30,000 in 2 years. I hope that it helps you. If it did, if you're inspired, if you like my story, if you stayed this long, I would really, really appreciate it if you just hit a like button down below and subscribed. I have a lot more to share.